We back. We back. I mean, shit, we really can't even be back though. We can't even really be back though. We ain't really started. This is episode 1. This is episode 1. Shoot, we're gonna get it cracking, man. We're gonna dive into some college football. As you see on the screen, football is back. Today's date, I want to say, is the 19th. You probably guys are gonna see this probably sometime next week. This upcoming weekend, we got on the 30th, we got opening day of college football. So we're gonna dive into a little bit of anticipation for the season.
How is that opening day if there's games this weekend?
It's kind of like a soft opening type of thing. It's like,
right,
like you have like a restaurant, you have like your soft opening, but then you have your real opening, like your grand opening. That's kind of how they do it. It's all right. You get like 1 or 2 good games or something on it, and then you jump into the season. But let's get cracking. Let's kind of preview a little bit of the college football season. So this is opening weekend. Actually, I mean, this is this upcoming Saturday on the 23rd. This will probably be already done by the time you guys see this, but we're going to look at some games. We're going to look at the schedule for opening weekend and kind of preview the start of the season. It's going to be a long season, but shoot, it seems like it goes quick. But let's jump into some games. Let's jump into some rankings. We got the top 25 right here. This came out like a week ago or so. Honestly, when I look at this, I don't really see nothing too crazy. You always take the opening poll with a grain of salt because everything changes throughout the year. So, but it's very, very interesting to see where teams are. At least for me, when I look at the top 25, really what I see that's surprising to me, Florida being 15.
Yeah, I didn't even see that.
They had a
Michigan 14.
Yeah. Michigan's 14, Florida's 15. I would say, really, to me, Florida being that high this early is surprising. They didn't have a great year last year. They really had issues with their quarterbacks, and DJ Lagway really took over the quarterback position, but he was injured a lot last year. This year, hopefully he stays healthy, and I actually think Florida's pretty good this year, but I'm surprised to see them this high this early. I think there's some teams that are ranked lower than them that are better than them, at least in my opinion. I think Oklahoma's going to be actually really, really good this year. They've had one of the better defenses the last 2 years, and I think they're finally going to get some good quarterback play out of Mateer from Washington State.
Who?
I forget his first name. His last name's like Mater. He's a transfer from Washington State. He was good there. I've seen him play a little bit. He's a pretty good Q. So I think he elevates them offensively. I think Texas A&M, in my opinion, is probably the best team
Tennessee
outside of the top 10. In my opinion, out of all these teams, I think that the A&M is the best team by far out of all these. But yeah, what you think?
Year. It's going to be so confusing. I think it's going to be a lot of changing.
Oh yeah,
moving around.
It's gonna be a lot of change.
Tennessee at 24 is crazy.
I think, in my opinion, Tennessee, with the way that they've trended the last 3 or so years, I think by the end of the season, the perception of Tennessee is going to be a lot lower than reality. They have a really, really good roster, especially on defense. I just think with Ayamaliava transferring from Tennessee going to UCLA, I think that kind of leaves them in a tough spot at Q. I think if you look at their schedule, they have one of the toughest schedules in the country. And I think they're going to go through a gauntlet, and I think they're just going to drop games. Just if you look at their schedule, it's similar to what Oklahoma had to do last year. And I could end up seeing them struggling to be bowl eligible, struggling to get to 6 or 7 wins.
There's going to be a lot of 3-4 lost teams in the top 25 this year. A lot.
Oh, I mean, there's probably going to be a couple, maybe 3 lost teams in the top 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very, very interesting to see how this actually plays out. Just because I'm not sure on some teams. In my opinion, just looking at the top 25, this ranking here with Arizona State, in my opinion, is off of what they did last year. They had a good year last year, got into the playoff, took Texas to their limit. Cam Scadaboo had a crazy good season, has a crazy good game. I think him leaving drops a lot of their production off of the offensive side of the football. They do got some guys returning, but I think them being so reliant on Scadaboo last year, I think they're gonna have to find that production elsewhere, and that could hurt them.
Where do they play in? What region?
They're in the Big 12.
They're in the Big 12.
Big 12.
And that's Illinois right next to them?
Yeah, Illinois. Illinois is an interesting team.
What did they do last year? I don't even remember seeing much of them.
So Illinois had a good, strong start to the year. The first half of the year, Illinois really kind of built their reputation. They did drop some games later in the year. Illinois is a good football team. They're bringing back some good production on their team. I think I don't see them being this highly ranked by the end of the season.
I think it's going to change a lot. I don't know, Michigan,
I think top to bottom roster wise, other than I think they between Michigan, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M, maybe even Tennessee, have the best rosters out of everyone outside of the top 10. Their question is just going to be at Q.
Didn't they just get fined too for like $20 million or something?
Yeah, I mean they all the sanctions and all the repercussions from the.
That doesn't affect them getting players still, right?
It can to a degree. I haven't read all the details of it. We'll probably have to dive into it because there's like multiple different levels of sanctions. I know Jim Harbaugh has got like a 10-year, basically where he can't coach in college for 10 years, which I highly doubt he's going back to college anyway.
He's the head coach. Isn't he Chargers head coach?
Yeah.
Same thing with Gruden. Gruden can't go back, right? Or he can't play NFL.
No, I mean Gruden can do whatever he wants.
He can go to college.
Gruden can go to the NFL. He can go to college. He can go wherever. He just was fired. So, but I do love the energy that John Gruden has. I've seen a video of him at University of Georgia, and he wants to coach, and I love it because college? I like John Gruden.
Or just coach.
He wants to coach. He says he wants to coach in the SEC. I would love to see John Gruden.
Alabama.
At anywhere in the SEC, I'd love to see him at like I highly doubt he's ever going to go be a coordinator. He's a head coach. I for sure would 100% want to see John Gruden coach again. I would play for John Gruden. I like John Gruden.
Where do you think his best fit is?
I mean, I like to see him at any like upper level blue blood where he can get guys in the door just by the logo on the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
He's an NFL guy. He's not a college guy. So he's not a guy that's going to be on the recruiting trail all the time. And I think that him going to a place to where recruits see the logo on the helmet and are like, I want to play there. I think that helps him because then that allows him to be nationally relevant. It allows him to build his reputation for college or for high school kids to see him coach at that level. And then they're going to gravitate towards him. Because he has crazy energy, he's a polarizing personality for sure.
What coach is going to be out the door though? I think everybody's pretty solidified on.
There could be. I mean,
Alabama maybe.
I mean, and that'll be so a handful of years down the road too. So I mean,
he's getting up there though too, ain't he? He's like 70 something already.
Gruden. Oh, Gruden's probably in the 60s.
Yeah,
probably early mid 60s, I'd say. Just
a quick reaction to this. Not going to be on there by the end of the season.
Oh, by the end of the season, I think Tennessee drops out of the top 25.
Really?
I think Ole Miss may drop out of the top 25.
Really?
I think you're going to see Indiana drop out of the top 25. I think SMU drops out of the top 25.
Kent State? No.
I don't think Kent State's on here.
Right there. Isn't that the purple right next to SMU?
See, Kansas State. Yeah, I think Kansas State will be ranked around similarly to what they're ranked now. I would say, like, out of the top 25 right now, just a knee jerk reaction. My my top 3 most overrated on this list,
Georgia?
I think is no, I don't think Georgia. Georgia's got it's hard to be overrated when you have arguably a top 5 roster in the whole sport.
Notre Dame?
I don't want to say Notre Dame's overrated because they've got the returning production. I just don't know what they're going to be at quarterback. That's my big thing. Is them at quarterback is just it's hard to judge because if they've had a camp battle and they just named a starter.
It's not Riley Leonard, right?
It's not Riley.
He went to the league?
Yeah, he's in the NFL now.
Who's he play for?
I don't remember. I don't remember who he got drafted by.
I think I saw him playing in the preseason.
Let me see. I would
Arizona State probably is not.
But they've never hard to say.
South Carolina.
South Carolina's an interesting one. I think they're ranked accordingly. I think they're a fringe of. They're not an upper level team. I think they're ascending to be like in that group below like your top ranked teams. I think there are some teams that are going to emerge later as the season goes on, and I think there's teams that's going to fall. I think Tennessee's going to fall just because of the gauntlet that they face. I can't
see Tennessee not being the top 25 team.
The way that the season goes, it's hard to predict because you don't know. Whenever you have questions, especially at the most important position, it's hard. Like it's hard for me to judge really what Tennessee's going to be offensively, and that's the big thing. Because defensively, they're going to be really good. I think they're going to lose a lot of close games, a lot of one possession games, a lot of close games. They're a tough one because, like, as we'll get into here in a bit, like I did like a top 50 ranking, and I essentially picked all the games of the top 40 teams week to week.
That shit's gonna be crazy to look at.
And it's something that it took a long time, and it was not a ton of thought. It was just like knee-jerk reaction to who I think wins these games, and trends throughout the season. So I mean, you're going to see a lot of teams that are ranked higher than they should be and lower than they should be. And it's kind of like, I feel like it's going to be more of an average of the result, but we'll get into that a little bit.
Do you think the top 5 will stay the top 5? They'll all stay at least up there.
I honestly think the top 5
Miami might slip in there. Miami might slip in there.
I think Miami has an extremely easy schedule. They've got to get through Notre Dame early in the season, but after Notre Dame, they don't face a lot that's hard. They have, as long as their defense is better than it was last year, there's no reason why they should lose more than 1 to 2 games. Like they should be one of the better teams in the country when it comes to overall record because they play a pretty easy schedule.
I think Georgia has a pretty easy schedule this year too. Well,
Georgia's schedule they face a gauntlet like most SEC teams do.
They're still gonna have to play Texas. They're still gonna have to play who else?
They're playing Alabama. They're playing Texas. They're playing Ole Miss,
Tennessee,
Florida. They're still playing some tough teams. So
South Carolina. I don't know if they play this year.
Let's see. Let's jump into the opening week. We're looking at week 0. By the time this gets posted, this is going to be over with. But there's a significant game here
at noon.
Yeah, so we got Iowa State playing Kansas State in Dublin. They're playing in Ireland.
Oh, it's in Ireland. I did not see that.
They're playing in Ireland.
That's cool.
And this is a big game. This is a conference defining game.
Is that going to be like the first ever college game?
No, last year. Last year they did. I think there was games before that. Years
Georgia.
Ago. It was Florida State, Georgia Tech, I think.
And Georgia Tech won by that field goal. That was in Dublin.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is going to be a interesting game because this is going to be a game that helps decide the Big 12. These are 2 of the better teams in the Big 12. It's tough. Like picking this game's tough. I think early in the year, I think Kansas State probably wins this game.
I'd go opposite.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I don't know enough about either one.
I think Kansas State probably pulls this game out. They're a good team. They're a front runner in the Big 12, and I would expect them to win this game. But I wouldn't be surprised if Iowa State wins because I've got Iowa State being a dark horse to make the playoff this year. Yeah. As we see, we got some other games here. Let's jump into next week. This is next Thursday, so this will be by the time this is uploaded, probably in a day or two. Boise State, obviously.
Been there many times.
Piscataway.
Mm-hmm. They got all the food trucks there.
But we got, Boise. Obviously, Boise coming off of last year making the playoff. And they play South Florida. This is going to be a 5:30 kick on a Thursday, so they're going to get the season started pretty early. Let's look at let's dive into the opening week. Okay, so here's a game here. Actually, I'm really excited to see this game. This is going to be Friday night, the night before opening day, the true opening day.
Kennesaw, Michigan State, who?
Auburn and Baylor. I think this game, and even Georgia Tech, Colorado, but Auburn and Baylor. This is going to be a game I'm excited for because we're going to really see what Auburn's going to be like. Where are they trending? Are they trending up or are they trending down? Because Baylor's a team that we kind of thought a couple years ago was going to do something, and they just
when they had that real big dude, right, with all the tattoos.
Who
was his name? I think he went to jail.
Oh, you're talking about Sean Oakman. He played at Baylor years. This is back in the Art Browse days. This is like 2012, 13, 14. We got Georgia Tech and Colorado. That's very interesting. We're going to get to see the post-Shador, post-Travis Hunter era of Colorado. And I think Georgia Tech is a very good football team. I think they're going to show a lot.
Coach? Is he out?
No, he's
cleared.
He's going to be there. He'll be there.
No big toes. I think he's got a stomach pump now too.
Yeah, like he can't really use the bathroom. Like he can't control using the bathroom and stuff. So, what was it? Bladder cancer? I think he said he had bladder cancer. So we'll see how that goes. But let's jump into Saturday, August 30th, opening day. This is the day I've been waiting on all year. Finally, football is back officially on August 30th. And it starts off with a bang of all bangs. One of the games of the year. Texas at Ohio State.
How would they wouldn't drop rankings though, would they?
It's according to how the game goes. I mean, if it's close, neither team's going to drop very much.
No.
But if someone gets blown out in this game, if someone doesn't look good, they're going to. Yeah, it'll say a lot. It'll say a lot about how this game's going to go. It'll say a lot how potentially the season may go. So, because I'm very interested to see because neither of these teams have a proven quarterback. Arch Manning is maybe the most hyped quarterback I've seen in my lifetime because he's fairly unproven and he's the favorite to win the Heisman. Texas is the favorite to win the national championship. Everyone expects him to be amazing, and I am not sure. I'm not sure on how this is going to go with him.
He showed out last year when he had the ball in his hand.
He did. He played well when he played, but I'm yet to see him play against legit players.
And have to run the whole offense,
It's different
game.
when you're playing against guys that are going to be playing in the NFL across the bar for you.
That
it's
is
different.
Crazy week one. That is
crazy week one start to the season. What other games do we got that's going to be big on that weekend? As we see here, obviously we're going to have some cupcake games for some of these top ranked teams as normal. I'm actually excited to see Alabama here and Florida State. Surprisingly, I'm not sure what Alabama's going to be. I'm excited to see what they're going to be with Ty Smith now as the starter. He's an unproven. Yep,
quarterback
replacing Jaden Milroe. I'm not sure what he's going to be. Like I'm waiting to see what they're going to be because he's going to be really, in my opinion, what determines how far they're really going to go.
But they have 3 losses last year too.
I think they had 3. I think it was 3 losses, and they've not had 3 losses since I think the first year Saban was there. Wow. So seeing Florida State and where they've kind of come from when they had that great year where they almost made the playoff, and then they had a terrible year last year. To see if they can rebound, I think they may be decent, but
they're previously champions too in the last 20 years, right?
Florida State last.
Jameis?
I don't think you're right. Yeah. When Jameis was there in 2013, they did win he won the Heisman that year and ended up winning the national championship.
And then after that, they were pretty.
They sustained success throughout the 2010s, and then you saw it tail off. And then they had that resurgence when Mike Norvell got there, but I'm waiting to see what they're going to be because I think roster-wise, they should be a good football team, but they did not show it at all last year. But we're looking at Georgia playing Marshall. I mean, obviously Georgia's going to kill Marshall. Let's just be honest. But I'm excited to see what Gunner. I'm excited to see what Gunner's going to be. I'm excited to see the offense that they're going to run and how they're going to run the offense through Gunner.
Do you think he's going to be like a Matt Stafford?
No, I don't see Gunner being a guy that's just going to be like a stand in the pocket passer and just shred defenses.
Need to slide.
Number one, I think they need to get back to running the football. They've not been good at running the football in years, and I think that's kind of the dip offensively that's happened with them is that they have not ran the ball like they used to back when they had Nick Chubb, Sonny Michel, DeAndre Swift. They have not ran the ball that way in a while. And I think having Gunner may put them back in the mode of let's run the football and let's control the game at the line of scrimmage.
Nothing really else.
And then
LSU Clemson.
The nightcap, obviously the big night game of opening weekend is going to be LSU traveling to Clemson. And it's going to be a night game, 7:30 kick. We're going to see Clemson run down the hill.
Let's go.
And I'm
trying to go to Death Valley.
I'd love to go to this game. I'm not paying the money to go to this game, but I would love to go to this game. This is going to be a big game. I think this game's really going to tell me what Clemson is really made of.
I think Clemson's going to be one of the best teams this year.
I have high hopes for Clemson. I really do. I think they've just been kind of just waiting for things to pop off. I'm excited to see Clemson and LSU because that's going to tell me a lot about Clemson. I want to see really what they're made of. In my opinion, I think Cade Klubnik, he's my favorite to win the Heisman. I think he wins the Heisman, in my opinion. I think Clemson is one of the best teams in the country. They're a top 4 team, in my opinion, at the end of the day. And they're going to be in contention to win the title for sure, in my opinion.
Notre Dame, Sunday.
So Sunday, as we all know, opening weekend of college football
Miami
usually has games for like 5 straight days. And Sunday, we got another good one. This is going to be a game that is going to tell me a lot about Miami's defense and what Notre Dame is going to be at quarterback.
I hope Carson Beck has a terrible year.
Why would you do that?
Because
hell no. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I really don't know what to expect from Miami's defense because we thought it was going to be better last year, and it still wasn't. And Notre Dame's coming off of a national championship game.
They were scoring, but they were getting scored on. It was like 50 games.
They were in the high 30s, 40s, and 50s all year. And it just they could have made it to the playoff if their defense would have just made certain stops in certain games. They'd have been a playoff team.
I want to see North Carolina too. North Carolina is going to be interesting to see what Belichick does.
For sure. North Carolina, obviously, Belichick's debut as a college coach. Mm-hmm. That is very interesting. I think there's a potential chance that they become ranked.
Yeah. What they're in the Big 12?
They're in the ACC.
ACC.
So I feel like there's a lot of winnable games for them. I'm excited to see what they're going to look like.
I didn't even see the lines in the over-unders.
Looks like they're
to win by
TCU is a 3.5-point favorite, which is understandable.
That's pretty good in scoring too.
All right, we're gonna hop into a prediction that I did. So I basically just picked out of the top like 50, I think top 40 or top 50 teams in the country. I essentially went through and picked every game of every week, and I edited and changed, rankings according to wins and losses. And this is pretty much kind of what I got. This is kind of an exaggeration of what I think is legit. But I'm looking at this being the playoff lineup. I think Texas ends up being. I think I had them undefeated.
Wow.
As the number one team in the country. I think
Georgia.
Yeah, I do think they beat Georgia.
It was a good game last year.
It was a crazy good game. I got Clemson too. I think they potentially can go undefeated. I think the only slip up with them, honestly, is the LSU game. I got
first game of the week or a season.
Yep.
You think they lose to LSU?
I don't. I think they potentially go undefeated. But that's the only game I think that they can lose, and I can I get it. Most of the games this year that they play, I don't see them losing. Penn State, I've got 3. I think Penn State is one of the very few teams in the country that brings back a lot of production, but they bring back an experienced quarterback, and that's usually one of the most important things when it comes to college football is bringing back production, but bringing back a quarterback, also a quarterback that has now going on 3 years of experience.
Who is it?
Drew Aller.
Drew Aller.
Drew Aller. I think they have a legit shot at winning the national championship. After them, Ohio State. Ohio State's always going to be in the mix. They're Ohio State. They're going to be in the mix. They just are. I've got Miami, the 5th seed. I think they get in just because of the schedule that they play. I think, honestly, if they played in, let's just say, the SEC, I don't think they're there. I just think their defense is still going to not be great. I think it's good enough to help get them in the playoff. Carson Beck, I think it's going to be pretty good with Miami. I got them at 5. 6, I got Oregon. Oregon is a.
They don't have a very hard schedule. Well, that's why you got to keep them up there, I feel like.
Their schedule is manageable. They do have to go and play Penn State in the whiteout. In my opinion, I think they go and they lose. I think they lose at Penn State. I think the guys that they lost, and we don't know really what they're going to be when it comes to replacing them. And they got a young quarterback that's not really done a whole lot. He played his freshman year at UCLA, 5-star quarterback at a high school, but he's not really had big game experience at this level. And so we don't really know what he's really going to be. At 7, we got Georgia. Georgia's going to be, obviously, they're going to be in the mix every year. Georgia's got one of the best rosters in the sport. Mainly, my question for them is, what are they going to be with Gunnar Stockton at quarterback? I think that's the big question, is how good is Gunnar going to be? How good are they going to be able to run an offense through him? I think that's the kicker. We'll see.
I think Georgia wins that and beats Clemson in any way, shape, or form. I think Georgia's got Clemson's number for sure.
I don't know. I that's tough.
I don't see Georgia losing to Clemson.
Why?
I don't know. I think Georgia just had their number, always has. We're just going to have to see what Clemson looks like.
I like Clemson's production they're bringing back. They're bringing back a lot of guys, especially on defense. Clemson's going to have one of the better defenses in the country. That's why I've got them ranked 2nd. I think they're going to be up in the mix, up in the top there.
If it's anybody else but Georgia, I think they move on pretty good. But if they have to play Georgia in quarterfinals or even the first round, I don't know.
So I've got Iowa State 8. I've got Iowa State winning the Big 12. I've got them kind of not coming out of nowhere because they were a good football team last year, but I think they are the equivalent of what we saw with Arizona State last year. I think they've got a lot of good returning production coming back on their roster. And I think the way that the Big 12 is shifting, I think they're primed to make a run to the playoff, in my opinion. They're my dark horse to make the playoff is Iowa State. Next we got USC. I think USC is kind of.
I hope so.
I think USC is going to be good this year. They've put together multiple really good recruiting classes, and I think we're finally going to start seeing that pay off. I think defensively, you're going to start seeing that pay off. Are we going to be able to run the football when we need to run the football, Lincoln Riley? That's the big thing. We got to be able to run the football. I think it's hard to win games if you can't run the football. And they had multiple games last year where they lost or almost lost games because they kept throwing the football late. So I think USC is going to kind of put themselves in the conversation of some of the better teams in the country this year. I actually got them starting the season, I want to say 8 or 9-0, going from unranked. So I think they're gonna have their work cut out for them because they've got some tough games, but I think they're gonna be good.
You're trusting Miami.
Oh yeah. 10, Texas A&M. My opinion, Texas A&M is one of the best rosters in the sport. They have just not had good quarterback play for years. They need consistent, good quarterback play. I think that's what's going to determine how good they are. They have the potential to be a top 4, 5, 6 team in the country. I don't know what they're going to be offensively, but they have a roster that can compete with any of these teams up here. That's why I got them at 10. I think they have a really, really good year. That's why I got them at 10. We're looking at 11, Texas Tech. Texas Tech is kind of a very interesting team. I think they had the best transfer portal class this year. They brought in a lot of guys, especially on defense.
Older guys?
Yeah, experienced guys. I think Texas Tech is a team, if they can just get their defense right, they can beat a lot of good football teams. They've had the top offense in the country the last, I want to say, 3 or 4 years. They've had a top 3 offense in the country. They just can't stop anybody. They cannot stop anybody.
Is that where Mahomes went?
Yeah, that's where Patrick Mahomes went.
I've seen something about the game, him versus Baker.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember watching that game. They threw for like 1,200 yards. I think he threw for
721 or
7 something. He broke the all-time NCAA record for
and they lost
the game. Yeah, they ended up losing that game. It was like, I want to say it was around like 70-55 or something. Yeah, that was a wild game. That was a very entertaining game.
That's what, like 5-6 years ago? Maybe more.
2016, I think.
Yeah.
2016, something like that.
Was that their senior years there?
I think that was.
And then that's probably really why he's on the Chiefs now and skyrocketed him, because I've never heard of him before.
Yeah, I think Texas Tech is very interesting because they have potential, and I'm really, this ranking and this playoff berth, in my opinion, is all potential. I think that they could end up going decently far and having a good season. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Texas Tech does. I really am. I'm excited to see what they do. And then last, I got Boise State.
No way.
I feel like Boise State, out of the group of 5, it's either them or Tulane, in my opinion. Either one of those 2 teams.
Oh yeah, because it's different now. It's the top team from every.
Yeah, it's the group of 5 gets that they do get a spot, the highest ranked group of 5. So it's either them or Tulane, in my opinion. I think Tulane has a pretty good season. I've just got Boise State, their preseason ranking, and the fact that they have a pretty manageable schedule, and I think they do have some good players coming back. So I think Boise State gets in there again. And I'm gonna pull up here my
what are all the different regions on the bottom? Boise's coming out of what?
So Boise State plays in the Mountain West, Miami in the ACC, USC in the Big 10, Iowa State Big 12, Texas Tech in the Big 12, Oregon in the Big 10, SEC with Texas A&M, and Georgia in the SEC. I'm gonna head and pull up here my actual playoff rankings. Now, this is very much an exaggeration of what I think may happen. This is pretty much, I mean, this is kind of what I think happens overall. It's
Texas, Clemson.
You're gonna see the best teams at the end of the day. It just is what it is. You're gonna see the best football teams at the end of the day, in my opinion. I think the top four still gets there.
Miami beats Ohio State.
No, Ohio State.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think Miami defensively is just not going to be able to stop Ohio State at all, in my opinion. But other than that, I think I'm excited. I'm just excited. The football literally is days away. I can't wait. It's been a long year with no football. I'm excited.
Sorry ass couple months.
It has, it's just been a lot of, WNBA, UFC, like, and that's something.
WNBA? Did you just shout out the WNBA? Hell yeah!
Hell no! But yeah, we'll jump into some UFC.
Oh, speaking of WNBA, you seen Sophia Cunningham blew her knee out?
Didn't see that.
Nah, you didn't see that?
Nope.
Tres Leches is down 2 people now.
Tres Leches?
That's what they call themselves.
That's why I don't watch WNBA, people. But I'm excited. I'm excited to jump into the season. Season starts in a couple days. Excited. Can't wait. And then NFL's right around the corner. You got the preseason's already been kicking off, and that's been interesting. But it's right around the corner. Fantasy season is starting, so we'll preview some NFL in our next episode, and we'll see how things go. I'm excited. Football.
Get that off of there.
Literally
the S. You can't be showing that.
What streamies? Shout out to the big homie. R.I.P.
Oh,
holding us down. How's she go?
P.I.P.
Streamies.
R.I.P.
Holding us down.
I love you, mama.
I love you, East.
I can't see. I'm legally blind.
I'm illegally streaming.